Welcome to the RPGamer review of Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. This is written by Nix, read by Sparambreath, and the video is edited by Airfrog. Yakuza 3 was the first game in the series I ever played, and even reviewed for the site. It holds a special place in my heart for being the first, even though it is considered by many to be weaker than other games in the series. Following the Kiwami remakes for the first two games, the third game is finally getting the remake treatment in the form of Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. The remake offers a lot of new goodies in the form of side content and a whole new story starring antagonist Yoshitaka Mine as he moves up the ranks and the Toyo clan. However, the game ends up feeling quite bloated. The main story pacing takes a huge hit, and a lot of the change made for Yakuza Kiwami 3 simply don't land. Picking up where Yakuza 2 left off, Kazuma Kiryu has retired and moved to Okinawa to run the Morning Glory orphanage with his adoptive daughter Haruka. While the war between the Omi Alliance and the Tojo clan has ended, Kiryu enlists the help of Goro Majima to assist the sixth chairman, Daigo Tojima, in his newfound role. 6 months later, Morning Glory Orphanage is receiving eviction notice from Ryudo family's patriarch, Nakahara, who owned the land. When Kiryu confronts the Nakahara, who soon learns that the land has been purchased to create a seaside resort, with the purchaser being of a rival clan. In light of these shady dealings, the shooting of two important individuals, and the appearance of a mysterious man who bears a resemblance to his adoptive father, Kiryu is forced to re-examine both the Okinawan families and the Toyo clan involvement in the land deal. Meanwhile, back in Kamurocho, the Nishikiyama family is starting to rebuild its status, buying up properties and bullying other families into submission. With Daigo having been shot, 3 different patriarchs come out of the woodwork, all vying to become the 7th chairman of the Tojo clan. The new Dark Ties storyline follows Yakuza 3's antagonist Yoshitaka Mine and provide a glimpse into his not-so-humble beginnings of how he became a member of the Tojo clan. Players learn about his former corporate life, how he became part of the Nishikiyama family, and his relationship with Tsuyoshi Kanda, another of the main game major antagonists. It is essential to note that while this content can be played immediately, it's best experienced after completing the main game. Yakuza 3 has a very large and intricate overarching story that relies heavily on players having some prior knowledge of the previous 2 games. While players can get a refresher of the first 2 games, there are still so many connecting elements throughout. The intrigue, the politics, and the inner corruption remain at the forefront of the story, though the pacing suffers from how the new content is integrated. For example, out of nowhere in Okinawa, Kiryu is forced to help out a struggling girl gang that want to protect Okinawa. It doesn't fit into the main plot at all, but it's highly entertaining, given that players can recruit so many different weirdos to the gang, but then sadly have to play the same 3 levels over and over again to take down a bigger boss, which takes from that joy. The Morning Glory content is similar mix, giving players enjoyable special bonding events with the kids, but also forcing them to play grindy minigames that aren't particularly fun. It's a shame too, given that both the Girl Gang and Morning Glory plot and wholesomely, but the grinding heavy nature of it end up throwing the pacing of the actual main story, especially given that it is mandatory in some areas. While it's definitely not a new thing for the series, the whiplash from goofy to serious takes a end turn here. The side stories also have some unfortunate change, as some of the original ones are removed in favor of the new one that integrate character from Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth with a net loss in number compared to the previous version of Yakuza 3. Some of the new sub-stories are actually pretty fun, though some of the one removed were also very memorable as well. Even with fewer sub-story overall, there is an overwhelming amount of content to partake in, from minigames and the Coliseum to meeting people on the street and connecting them through the La 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 mobile. While they are distraction, there is too much vying for the player attention and none of it's truly compelling. Yakuza Kiwami 3 makes a few changes to the gameplay of the original, offering two different combat styles. The Dragon of Dojima Kiwami style focuses on brawling, allowing Kiryu to get up close and personal with his enemies, while the new Ryukyu style is initially based on the Timbi and Russian, a traditional shield and short spear. Kiryu can also wield nunchuck, tonfa, teko, and more as the player's play style develops. Kiwami 3 also adds a new feature in combat, Dragon Boost, which boosts Kiryu attack power for a brief period while the gauge is active. Once the gauge is depleted, Kiryu performs a devastating dragon finisher, which is the cherry on top to finish things off. There are a plethora of new hit action as well, including but not limited to Kiryu choking the enemy with nunchucks. Both styles of combat feel fluid and fun. The Kiwami style truly feel like Kiryu is ditching out heavy hits on his enemies. The Ryukyu style also has surprising depth as it adds a layer of versatility to weapon-specific combat throughout the game. While most of the Kiryu problems can be solved with bicycle-related murder, being able to stab enemy with traditional Japanese weapon has a lot of appeal as well. While Yakuza action-based combat can get fairly repetitive, the Ryukyu style feels like a welcome addition to Kiryu's already vast combat repertoire. With the addition of the new combat style, the growth system in Kiwami 3 see a major change. While most of the Kiryu base stat can be upgraded with cash, a lot of the specialty skill require players to engage in a lot of the game's side content to earn training points that can be spent on new abilities. Earning training points can be as simple as eating all the food at a specific restaurant, engaging with some of the minigames, or completing tasks for the Girl Gang and Morning Glory side stories. Players will easily earn training points and over first, as there are so many ways to get them, making it easy to obtain all of Kiryu's skill by the end of the game. While the combat difficulty is adjustable, having all abilities unlocked by the end game due to the abundance of training points does remove a bit of the game's challenge toward the end. The Dark Ties content focus on the villain Yoshitaka mine, this addition shine more light on his rise and fall and the Tojo clan and his relationships within it, particularly with Kanda. However, none of it is particularly good. For starter, Kanda is literally in jail for sexual assault, and working with him introduces an uncomfortable starting point for the story. Mine's special content is called Kanda Damage Control, in which he does good deeds as Kanda to raise his reputation around Kamurocho. Looking from the outside in, this is a huge misstep on Ryuga Gotoku's part, giving how the game narrative so easily swept Kanda misconduct under the rug, and players are forced to raise their rank to make Kanda look like a god to the general public. Not only does giving a character less like Kanda such a presence feel highly problematic, the content itself is also just boring and uninspired, mainly doing fetch quests for people around town, or its rehashing minigame from the original Kiwami 3 with its own version of the Coliseum. While the content can be easily finished under 6 hours, it doesn't add much of a unique perspective, as the only interesting bits story-wise come from the mind's admiration of Daigo Dojima. However, the few interesting moments are so minor compared to how much bad feeling come from being forced to spend time with Kanda. Dark Ties gameplay is also uninspired, as though Mind Dark Awakening combat style is fast and hard-hitting. It has so many limitations, including not being able to use nearby items, giving previous Yakuza game having mind unable to pick up object and the environment seem like such a bizarre choice, giving it is such a staple of the series. There is little flexibility or variety in his adventure section, including his lackluster side stories, in which the game attempts to make him sympathetic. Yet it comes across as forced and fake. While the Dark Ties content could have been a slam dunk, it just feels half-baked, lacking emotion and its own identity, and come across as an easy cash grab. Compounding the issue with Kanda, Kiwami 3 recast Imazaki with actor Teruyuki Kagawa, known to be a sexual predator. It adds such uncomfortable layers that hang over the game and constantly reminds player of it. His portrayal isn't even particularly good, especially compared to the original game. It's devoid of threat, sounding like a nasally weasel. The new performance for Rikiya Shimabukuro is also notably bland, especially for a character who has so much energy and intention. A lot of the recasting and Kiwami 3 does not help the game, which is a shame given that everyone else in the Japanese main cast really does a great job of bringing their character to life. Visually, the game looked great and cutscenes, though there are some collision issue among NPC who really love walking into walls. During the exploration section, the graphics are decent but nothing extraordinary, though Kamurocho and Okinawa are vibrant and wonderful to wander through, feeling very live in, which make exploring them a treat. I am struggling to fully reconcile my feeling about Yakuza, Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. I have nostalgia for the original game, even if it's not rated highly within the series. However, while I enjoy some of the changes made, such as the side content with the Morning Glory Orphan and the silly Okinawa Girl Gang, those rose-colored glasses come off when I realize that the story feels quite messy. Content from the original have been removed for questionable reason and everything in the game feels bloated. Coupled with following some of the worst characters in the series, it's hard for me to say with confidence that this is the definitive version of the game because it's honestly a substantial step backward. RPGamer give Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties 2.5 out of 5. For more detail, hit up the link in the description below. For more video content, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitch for daily stream of your favorite RPGs. Join on the discussion at rpgamer.com on Discord. And for the latest in RPG news, head over to rpgamer.com.